Congratulations, class of 2023. Woohoo! Graduation, a time to celebrate, reflect on the sacrifices, the accomplishments of the past, and the possibility of the future. And today, on Mother's Day, how special. What could be a better gift to every mother than graduation? Off the payroll. As a Pennsylvania native, I'm so honored to be here today, celebrating with the world-changing graduates of Carnegie Mellon University. You, the innovators of tomorrow, you are those who will define the era ahead of us. My path to this stage was anything but normal. I was born on the eastern side of Pennsylvania in the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish country. I often tell people when you get to nowhere, we were just 5 more miles. My parents were both part of farming families. My dad worked with his siblings on the farm. He worked in the local steel mill. Both of my parents attended 1st through 8th grade in one-room schoolhouses with no further education, right? And, much less any college. But growing up, my siblings and I had this go to school drilled into our heads. Get your PhD. I'm not even sure they knew what a PhD was. Yet for me, it was completely unimaginable to ever aspire to a place like Carnegie Mellon University, much less a PhD. In my junior year in high school, I accidentally took a scholarship exam and I won. I shortly found out I wasn't supposed to take it yet, but my guidance counselor suggested, hey, maybe some community college credits and you could take the scholarship. I think she just wanted to get rid of me. And so off I went at 16 years old and began my associate's degree program. Technology enthralled me. I discovered something new every day. And the first time I touched a computer, I was hooked. After getting my 2-year degree, I interviewed with Intel. They bought me a plane ticket. I had never been on an airplane. A free trip to California? Woohoo! Let's go, baby. Farm kid to California. The interviewer, that day, he noted in his file on me, he said, smart, aggressive, arrogant. He'll fit right in. Maybe that's why the guidance counselor wanted to get rid of me. But I was fueled by this deep belief in technology, and Intel became like a second family to me. The opportunity to create, to innovate, to be part of life-changing baseline technologies that are becoming part of how every human operates. This just thrilled me. And of course, I brought my Pennsylvania work ethic into the workplace. If I wasn't being kicked by a horse, bitten by a cow, covered with hay dirt, working in an air-conditioned building, this was pretty darn good. And I spent the first 30 years of my career at Intel becoming the company's first chief technology officer. 14 generations of microprocessors, seminal technologies like USB and Wi-Fi. When my granddaughter now sticks her USB stick into the computer, she says, "Thank you, Papa." My dream was to become Intel CEO. It would just be the perfect career, but in 2009, after 30 years with the company, I was pushed out. I was heartbroken. My vision was crushed. And suddenly I found myself trying to map out what was next. And as many of you are now also on a journey to map out the future, and hopefully with a much more positive and opportunistic mindset than I had at the time, I wanted to share some advice that has served me well in my career. MAP, a map for your journey. M is for mentors. Find them, listen to them. I've been blessed by 5 major mentors in my life, and only one of them is still with us today. But even 40 plus years into my career, I still talk to them every Friday morning. Early in my own career, I had advanced as a technician. I was an entry-level engineer, and I was a bit precocious young manager, and I was trying to get the 83, 86 out the door, and I had the opportunity that I was going to present to the executive team of Intel about some persistent problems that we had in our computer systems. I had my data, and here I was presenting to the executive staff, urgently had to fix some of these issues. And I was pointing my finger at the veritable gods of Silicon Valley. the trio, what I call the Trinity of Silicon Valley. Robert Noyce, the inventor of the integrated circuit. Gordon Moore, the industry shaping Moore's Law. And the Titan Andy Grove, founder, president, soon to be CEO, Time Magazine Man of the Year. And here I am presenting to them. A week or so after the meeting, I was working intently in my office in the 386 and the phone rings. And that's when you still had phones. Bells rang, so I didn't want to be interrupted, so I picked it up and in the most annoyed voice, I said, "Who is it?" Voice comes back, "Andy." "Andy who?" It was Andy Grove. "I was impressed by your presentation the other day." And he starts saying, "What do you read? What are you studying? What is your next career objective? What's the next job that you want?" Shocked and stammered, I'm just trying to get my chip done. Lousy answers. Be in my office in a week with better ones. And if the president tells you to be in his office in a week, what do, Farnham? Well, they either show up or you leave the country. And I seriously thought about the latter. A week or so later, with a lot more thought through answers, I showed up in Andy's office. And that began a mentoring relationship that lasted for 35 years. And I joke that mentoring with Andy Grove was like going to the dentist and not getting Novocaine. It was tough, he was hard, but he made me better. And these are the kind of relationships that you need for whatever path you pursue in life. Almost every great leader I've interacted with, they have their Andy Grove. Those influences that they describe shaped and drove their career. When I call it, we're like diamonds in the rough. And we need mentors to help knock off those rough facets and show the beautiful diamond inside. In a range of mentoring experiences like Andy hard and pouring into you, buddies on the path of life, and those that you're reaching into their life. And all allow you to have substance and confidence, and combined, they enable you to achieve your full potential. M for mentors. A, audacious goals. I encourage each one of you to write a mission statement. What do you want to do with your life? And then live it. In the mid-20s, when I was in my mid-20s, not the mid-20s, but when I was in my mid-20s, I had a period of aimlessness, and I had gotten my first patent. I had written my first book. I'm sure you all read it. It was a thriller, Programming the 8386. Yeah. I got married at a young age. We had our second child coming. And all of a sudden, there was a period of aimlessness. And I was struck, what am I going to do with the rest of my career? And I came upon the idea of writing a mission statement. The audacious statements of what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. The unattainable things that I wanted to dream for, strive for each day. And when I wrote it, I wrote CEO of Intel. And for the next 25 years, I played armchair CEO. I would listen to what Andy would say or what Gordon would say. Would I have done that? Could I have done that? Was I smart enough to do that? Did I have the skills, the training to go do that? And it drove me every day to be better, to have God-sized goals that are much bigger than you could ask or imagine. And keep the most important thing, the most important thing. Set those goals and live by them. Ruthlessly prioritize your time against them. This sounds simple, but in many respects, it is. However, you'd be surprised how many people poorly execute their priorities for life. Define the vision that you want, the future that you want to achieve, what you want to be, and they will help you stay focused and continue to learn the lessons that you thought you already knew. Embrace an unrelenting thirst for learning. Have humility, be open to challenge, learn something new every day. You will make mistakes. Just don't repeat the same ones. Keep learning from those mistakes. A, audacious goals. Finally, P, passion. Pursue your passions. Find something that you're good at, that you love doing, and do it with people that you enjoy. 40 years now into my career. Hard to say, 40 years. Man, that's a long time, Pat. But I'm as fired up today as I was when I first walked into Intel at 18 years old. And I want to be able to share that passion for innovation with generations to come. Never lose that excitement, that drive. Live your life in relentless pursuit for what is right. Not mostly right, but totally right. Your values define you and they shape who you are and what you do every day. Realize they call it work for a reason. You will have crappy days. How do you like that as a graduate speech? Life is not a walk in the park. You will get angry, you'll get pushed out, you'll fail, you'll lose the deal, you'll get passed over for the promotion that you deserve. But aggressively embrace those moments, because those are the ones that will make you better. Failure is your best opportunity to learn and grow, and use your passions to fight through those periods and those challenges. And you will have moments like today when everything is sunny and perfect. Finally, and most importantly, be confident in who you are. Bring your whole self into the workplace. I am a devout Christian, and I love talking about my faith. I also aggressively embrace diversity and inclusion. I have a belief, a deep-held belief, that God has called me to this place for a higher purpose every day. You shouldn't have to cultivate different personalities and personas for work and home. Be your full self. The experiences you have in one area can be the most helpful and beneficial in others. Business is much more likely to succeed when people bring their differences into the workplace every single day. Diversity enriches and empowers high-performing teams and ultimately fuels innovation. Be open to others and be entirely you. About 2.5 years ago, I was invited to come back to Intel as CEO, my dream job. And following an extraordinary period of growth in what I call my 11-year vacation outside of Intel. So here I am today in my dream job at a time where every aspect of human existence is becoming digital. I'd ask you, what area of your life is not becoming more digital today? Everything is. And this digitization has driven what I like to call the 5 superpowers. Compute. Since the Intel 4004, inventing the microprocessor, everything is a computer, from your phone, from your personal computer, to your thermostat, to your light bulb, to your coming autonomous vehicle. Everything is connected. Everyone and everything is becoming connected. When I helped create Wi-Fi, little did I know what we were unleashing on the world. Everyone and every object becoming connected. Infrastructure, from massive cloud to edge and AI and 5G services, from sensing. When you drive, you have 2 eyes on the road and you're distracted. When my autonomous vehicle drives, it has 13 cameras, 2 LiDARs, and a radar, never gets distracted and always knows where it is. My hearing aids, digitally enhancing my deficiencies. I get little notes from my wife here. You think I'm listening to you, but I'm actually hearing from her. AI, extraordinary breakthroughs. You know, AI is a field 40 years old, and for the first 30 years, what happened in AI? Nothing. The last 10 years, wow. Everything has emerged, and AI itself is dramatically changing every 2 to 3 years. These foundational technologies profoundly shaping how we experience the world by creating this bridge from the analog to the digital. These technology superpowers combine, amplify, reinforce each other, and more ubiquitous every day, unleashing these new possibilities. But technology itself, is it good or bad? It's largely neutral. Our role is to shape it as a force for good. Today, is AI safe? Is it good? And if we can't prove it's good, the engineering isn't done. It has to improve lives, meet laws and regulation, and everything needs to be engineered to completion as truly technology as a force for good. If the AI-driven autonomous vehicle, it still needs to meet safety standards. The AI-driven drug discovery still needs to meet FDA. If the generative AI, it still must meet copyright laws. It must be correct. As graduates of the most prestigious engineering and liberal arts university, I ask you to join me in committing to make technology a force for good. Last year, I had 3 extraordinary moments. I was recognized at the State of the Union with the Joint Chambers giving standing ovation for the work that we are doing. With Farnham, we were there on the White House lawn for the CHIPS Act signing, the most important piece of industrial policy legislation since World War II. And third, the groundbreaking of our site in Ohio, the end of the Rust Belt and the launch of the Silicon Heartland. I know, I apologize. We're 4 hours in the wrong state. Please forgive me as a Pennsylvania bear. How could I miss, right? Just one state away. But together, these 3 have a singular theme: rebuilding the manufacturing supply chains of America. We saw through COVID the devastating impact that 30 years of supply chain migrating offshore. I've said where the oil reserves are has defined geopolitics for the last 5 decades. Where the technology supply chains are is more important for the next 5 decades. Let's build them where we want them. As we embark on this next phase of this wonderful journey life, you are the superheroes who will embrace these superpowers as the basis for innovations that we cannot even begin to imagine yet. Join me in shaping them as a force for good, improving the lives of every single human on the planet through this magic of silicon and digitization. When technology is a force for good, it truly is magic. It is up to us? No. It's up to you, today's graduating class, to map the era that is before us. Mentors to make you better. Audacious goals that you have no idea how you're going to accomplish, and pursue your passion and purpose. Class of 2023, one of Intel's founders, Robert Noyce, said, "Don't be encumbered by history. Go out and do something wonderful." Thank you. Woo!